Next up at UFC Vegas 74, we have Jim Miller with a new opponent. He's taking on Jared Gordon. Jim Miller, 35-17 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that loss to Alexander Hernandez, where he finally looked old. He hadn't really looked old in his fights, and he finally looked like he lost a step in that last fight. And he's taking on Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon, 19-6 overall, 2-1 in his last 5. He is coming off that headbutt no contest with Bobby Green, which makes this yet another very complicated fight to break down. This card is just loaded with... This is either going to be the most obvious card, like the parlay should be Daniel Santos, Carini, Jared Gordon. Like, it's either going to be a super easy card like that. All those people are going to win. All the minus 170s, minus 200s. Yeah. Or... every one of those has an asterisk. Carini has never won outside of a finish. So what if she can't finish?
Willie Cat gets dropped 6 times a fight.
Constantly. Jared Gordon was just knocked unconscious like 3 weeks ago. I can't believe he's not suspended by the commission right now. Like, that's shocking to me.
Unless it was only a 90-day or something.
No, it hasn't been 90 days.
Well, don't yell at me.
The only reason he's not suspended...
the kids start crying, you immediately just get agitated as shit.
Oh, it does, like...
I saw a funny TikTok of a guy. They're just pulling a prank on this guy's chair, like it was in like a construction break room, and his chair, when he sat down, his chair like went out, and everyone started laughing. And he picks the chair up and he just slams it across the wall, just pissed as shit. And all the TikToks were like, somebody's got to check his house, because if he's doing that over that, Jesus Christ, he's beating the shit out of somebody.
Oh, kids will drive you up the wall. I missed the super chat. $1.99 from Sam Pierce. Bless you both. Thank you guys for everything. We appreciate you, Sam. But what I was saying is, I think the reason Jared probably wasn't suspended is because the fight was ruled a no contest.
So what are you suspending him for?
It wasn't a loss, which is, Anyway, dude was knocked out. That makes me a little worried, but Jared Gordon's a good wrestler. He's got solid pressure, solid striking. His striking is mostly volume-based, where he likes to come forward. He's got flurries, and before looking for that takedown, he's just going to get real busy up top. He averages more than 2 takedowns per fight, but his takedown defense isn't as solid. He's coming off that no contest headbutt, as I mentioned. But he was winning those early exchanges. That's the takeaway from that fight, is he actually looked pretty good against Bobby Green, who's a very good striker. And I think that's why this line is, it has tightened quite a bit, but I think that's why he opened at the minus 190 favorite, even though he's the one popping in on short notice. He's taking on Jim Miller. Jim Miller's a legend. Jersey tough. He's all the things. He's got a whole bunch of different records in the UFC for longevity, for most this, most that, because he has been around so incredibly long. He's a very good grappler, and he has very clean boxing. His wrestling is not as good, though. Grappling is jiu-jitsu. Wrestling is the ability to stand up or take it down. He sort of struggles taking people down, and that's going to be the difference here. I don't think he's going to be able to take Jared down, and Jared should be the better striker, but we've seen Jim Miller. Jim Miller has a knockout in the last 12 months. Like, Jim Miller has found some power in his hands. Like, Jim Miller is a dangerous guy, even at, 39? So he has more fight years than life years on him at this point, but...
ooh, nice rhyme.
He looked old in his last fight. He slowed down. He looked old in his last fight. I think he's going to look old here as well, but I'm not betting on Jared Gordon either, because he was knocked out cold a few weeks ago, and I can't put money on that, even though he did look so sharp early against Bobby Green. Tricky card for sure. What do you think, Jakey boy?
It is a little bit of a tricky fight for those reasons. I mean, you laid the fight out absolutely perfect. I mean, and congratulations to that. I guess a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, even though you probably haven't found a nut in quite some time. But
shower drain. Continue.
That's that shit we're talking about. Although that was pretty good. But yeah, in that Bobby Green fight, because I was locked and loaded on Bobby Green. I came into that fight touting Bobby Green, saying Jared Gordon had nothing for Bobby Green. I was loaded on bets for Bobby Green inside the distance. He's gonna knock this dude out. And about 2 minutes into that fight, in my head, I'm thinking, this is not good, because Jared Gordon is counter-striking Bobby Green, who is so hard to hit. He's got that Philly shell, and it's really hard to hit this guy. And Jared Gordon was landing on his chin at times. I mean, with extended combinations and getting to the target better than I've seen almost anyone get to the target on Bobby Green. And against a guy like Jim Miller, who is much more flat-footed than Bobby Green will be, he's much more hittable in this fight. I think he can have the exact same success. I think Jim Miller is going to be very hittable for a guy like Jared Gordon. You mentioned he does look like he's starting to slow down. He's still got the power, which is the big pause for concern in this fight. But I believe Jared Gordon can kind of avoid those power shots like he did against Patty, kind of in, out, point fight. And if he at point fights Jim Miller, I think he can easily win this fight in the striking. But as everyone always talks about, power is the last thing to go. Jim Miller still possesses that power. If he lands on Jared Gordon, he can knock him out. But I think Jared Gordon is much better striker in this fight, and I'm pretty confident in him. As long as he just please don't get knocked down.
Well, that's the thing, and if this is a few years ago, I wouldn't think it was possible. But Jim Miller knocked out Nicholas Mata, knocked him out cold. So that power is there. So we're both on the Jared Gordon side. It's funny because as we were talking, I put a unit on a bet that we mentioned earlier. So I actually have a decent amount of money going on this card, but I still trust nobody and nothing. So I don't know what's going on here. But
it's like we crossed peace dreams. Must have been last night.
Why would it have been last night?
All right.
Well, when you come over,
if you're not ready,
when you come over for the pool party next week, we'll recross the peace streams.
You promise?
Next Saturday. I promise. We're both on the same side. $9,100 in DraftKings, though. Oof. That's a bit steep.
It is. I agree.
That's a bit steep.
I agree.
The dude was legit.
Bet online. Sorry, Bet Online just dropped Jimmy Malarkey line -400.
Oh wow, that tightened fast. He opened at -590. Wow.
I think it should be.
All right, maybe I do throw him in the safety parlay. After all that shit I talked about. Anyway, WeWantPicks.com. Check out all the bets. I just dropped a 1-unit bet, not on this fight, on a different fight that I will throw in there. WeWantPicks.com. It's only $10 a month. Just click Become a Member at the top. It instantly unlocks everything you could ever want, including private channels in the Discord so you can get alerts to your phone.